Sigh. Le sigh. I'm sighing bilingually. Sigh, le sigh, because I'm Canadian. No, I'm just trying to get over my horror at this image. For those of you who don't know, this is Amazon's day 3 of the 12 days of deals thing they're doing for, their pre-Christmas orgy of selling. And I guess they thought they were scoring some pretty major political correctness points by making the image of the gamer Madonna, unsexualized woman. And but my husband took one look at this and said, this is 50-year-olds telling 40-year-olds what 20-year-olds think is cool. And unfortunately, it's not. It's Amazon. Like, these are probably, the thing is, these are non-gamers trying to figure out what a gamer girl is supposed to look like. And this, to me, is an example of when people try so hard to offend no one that they create an inherently offensive collection of stereotypes. No, for those of you that are wondering, the image is not horrible. They've given her those douchebag 8-bit glasses that people only wear as a joke or ironically. And apparently she was dressed by Mormons because those might as well be pajamas. That shirt is so unflattering. And I mean, all that would be okay if her hair didn't cost more to maintain than my entire hypersexualized wardrobe. Okay? Because if your neckline drops below your clavicle in this day and age, you're seen as a hypersexualized woman. And this is just, I know they were intended to flatter. I know they're supposed to show that, hey, girls game too. But this to me is the equivalent of having the day for a baker be a fat woman. It's just a collection of stereotypes. And I mean, not that there's anything wrong with fat people and not that fat people shouldn't be represented. But guess what? Day 4 was a woman cooking and she was a thin African American woman. So they didn't go there. They didn't go sort of the ironic stereotype with everything, just the gamer. And this is just, to me, what non-gamers see as gamers. And here's the straight talk. Here's the real truth. There are 30 million PS4s in people's homes right now. Gamers are an exceptionally diverse group. Gamers look differently and think of the world differently and have different jobs, and some of us even have careers. And some of us have careers that mean we can't have hair with more colors than Rainbow Dash's tail. Okay? Gamers, this does not embody a gamer. This embodies a particular type of gamer, and it's the sort of thing, this kind of thing is the reason why I can't watch The Big Bang Theory. I don't like the constant geek stereotypes, but you know what? This goes into realms that even The Big Bang Theory won't go. None of the women on The Big Bang Theory have hair like this. And why? Because they work in jobs that require hair that involves colors found in nature. And I say this as a person with the rarest hair color on the planet. And this is the reason, guys, that gamers, for those of you who aren't gamers, my YouTube analytics, my Twitter analytics indicate that people watch this channel for the comedy as much as the gaming. So there are people who are not interested in games that watch this channel. I don't quite know what they get out of it, but thank you for watching. But these sorts of things are why actual gamers get pissed off. Because if you don't conform to the stereotype, you're like, really? Really? This is what the world thinks of me when people hear that I am a gamer? And then, for the people that do sort of fit the stereotype, the stereotype they're deliberately avoiding here, which is, the pudgy white guy, I feel even worse for them because they're like, oh wow, we're the losers the world thinks gaming is, and they've pegged us as a loser. It's not even trying to, and this bothers me because I'm sorry, your waistline and your hairstyle is no indication of what kind of person you are. I don't care if you're fat. I don't care if you're thin. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what shape you are. I don't care what religion you are. I care if you are a decent human being. And being a good and kind and personable human being is more important than any physical trait on the planet. And there are a lot of really great, gentle, caring, compassionate dudes who are getting ground underfoot by the stereotypes the rest of the world has regarding gamers. 30 million PS4s, guys. And that's just PS4s. That's not including people who are exclusive to the Xbox One. They've only bought the one console and they bought the Xbox One because they want to play Halo or, whatever. And it's not including PC gamers either. It's, that's a small number comparison. I just grabbed it because I was just reading about it the other day. That was the first thing that popped in my head. Like, wow, yeah, 30 million people are supposed to look like this. No, of course not. And any ad campaign has to pick one person to represent, all gamers. And I much would have preferred it was a Korean chick than this, partially because, it's just you went for the white chick, which is still going for that, normative. You're still going for that TV image of a gamer. But, the reality is the Asian market for gaming is huge, and they're probably not shopping on Amazon because they probably get things cheaper locally. But, the reality is around the world, if you look at the massive markets in Asia, they sort of dwarf us. But it goes beyond that, because the reality is that you're never going to find an archetype of what a gamer looks like. So have a normal person holding a game controller. But the problem is, if the woman's, not total nerd looking territory with the multicolored hair, then somebody's gonna scream she's too pretty, and that means she's sexualized. And this is the problem we get into, and this is why people freak out, and this is why people think that a small minority of gamers are controlling the messages the rest of us receive. And it's not a question of control. It's a question of marketers are reading mainstream headlines and getting a not great idea of what gamers actually want and who gamers actually are. I mean, we can't even get to the point of what gamers actually want because we're not past the who gamers actually are threshold, right? And that's the frustrating thing when we try to have these discussions because, I've heard, especially over the last week, a lot of people, men and women alike saying, yeah, we want more women in gaming. We want more women to play games. We want more women to make games. Why? Because we like women. And we want more women involved. I mean, God, please, women to talk to, please. No, the reality is a lot of women are playing on their cell phones. They're not playing on these consoles. But this image, to me, is just as offensive in a different way as if they'd done the... I don't want to throw shade on anybody. This is just an example, the sort of frag doll stereotype. And I mean, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with the frag dolls. They were all good players. They were just glammed up because it was about making money and it was about branding, and they were all solid players. Nobody could take that away from them, but people complained because they had their makeup done, which is weird. And yeah, they were attractive to look at, but if they couldn't play, they wouldn't have been on the team. The whole idea is that they're able to play. But these are the moments that I kind of get it. These are the moments where I understand why people are scared that the hobby's being hijacked by political correctness, because man, this is just... I don't know anybody who actually looks like this, to be completely honest. I mean, I know a lot of the multicolored hair types, but they're in the indie scene. A lot of us who game regularly, we've grown out of the blue hair phase. Um, and if we were ever in it, I mean, the reality is that a lot of people who are gamers have very good jobs during the day, and you can't walk into a bank or, an NGO or the higher ones, or, anything that requires a certain amount of professionalism with blue, green, and purple hair and schmuck glasses. You have to look professional, and this isn't it. And they're going for, this is a stereotype. No matter what anybody says, no matter how people think this is an empowering stereotype, this is a stereotype of female gamers. It's not an archetype, because there's no such thing. A gamer is just a person who plays games. And I hate to constantly be the, opposition voice, the person going, no, mass marketers, no, ad campaigns, no, people out there, this is wrong. This does not make me, who is a heavy consumer of games and game, tech, this does not make me want to buy your product. Because unlike, how do I put this? Unlike the typical, schmendrick white male, and you can tell when I'm annoyed because I'm dropping a ton of Yiddish terms tonight, but that guy just removes me from the equation completely. And I'm not really crazy about it, but it's a very different part of my brain than this, which is directly annoying to me. And no slight intended on the women that look like this. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with looking like this. But, if you see sort of the nerds on TV like Garcia Minds or, characters like that, she does the crazy glasses, but they never look like that. And she does the crazy colors, but her hair is, it's usually blonde or red. It's not, you can't, it's one of those things where it's like too much bling. You have to have the ironic glasses, or you have to have the My Little Pony hair. You shouldn't really have both. And I know that's like a fashion thing, and that's shaming, and that's privilege and all that, but I don't care. This is marketing. This is about, first rule of advertising, offend no one. Well, this image offends me. Why? Not because there are women that look like, not because there aren't women that look like this, but because I don't think there's any representation of a gamer that is accurate. Never mind one this ridiculously targeted. And maybe I should show you guys a comparison, so don't take my word for it. Just give me a second. I'll get the actual image of today's 12 days of deals. There. For your comparison, this is the image of a host. Didn't say hostess, host. It's a gender neutral term. So, I won't say, oh my God, they put a black woman in the kitchen. But, that's reaching. That's reaching. There's nothing wrong with it. She's obviously, the homeowner, not a domestic. But oh, good Lord. But do they make her a stereotype? No, she's an attractive woman. Now, if this woman had a game controller in her hand, somebody would claim she's sexualized because she's pretty. We've juxtaposed, we've flip-flopped, sexualized for conventionally attractive. And I mean, like I said, this ain't Paula Deen here. This isn't what people who do a lot of cooking and a lot of sampling in their own cooking actually look like. So we're in fairy tale land. So in the fairy tale land of Amazon, a traditional host, which, let's face it, this is sort of more in keeping with what is traditional for a woman to do. A host looks like this. A gamer looks like this. We have so much PR work to do in this industry forgot. We need to clone Aisha Tyler and just send her everywhere. I mean, she's good and tall. Nobody can miss her. But just like Aisha Tyler is a real gamer. She actually plays games. She loves the freaking game. She's obsessed with the games. And what does Aisha Tyler look more like? This? Or this? Realistically, Aisha Tyler, real gamer, host of the Ubisoft press conference at E3 every year, looks more like this than the stereotype they hit us with. And yes, some female gamers do look like that. Some female gamers look like this as well. And the effort, the maintenance it takes to have your hair 3 different freaking unnatural colors. Like, you guys, you have no idea how much maintenance that takes. It is a huge amount of work and a huge amount of money. And anybody who's really into games isn't paying that much for their hair because they're spending it on games and equipment and stuff to play those games and a big TV and a nice, good speakers and all that stuff. They're not spending it on their hair. Priorities. And this stuff just bugs me because why can't this be the face of gaming as well? Like, why couldn't it be the same woman in all the campaigns? Like, why? I don't get it, Amazon. I don't get it. You're trying to appeal to people. This appeals to me more as a regular person that I identify with in terms of being a well-rounded individual than Rainbow Dash hair and schmuck glasses. Gamers are just normal people.